Okay, welcome. And today we are going to be talking about AI. And I have sent out a little survey of maybe questions that you might have. And there were a couple of people that wanted to get on the hot seat today. So, as I'm recording this and going through and looking at some of the questions that people have been asking me or that I've been helping people with over these last couple of months, and even the questions that I've had as I have showed up to some AI trainings and have been learning it even myself. We're going to cover some of these questions today. So one of the things is, how do I make this simple for myself? And how do I show up authentically for my business? And how do I show up so that I'm not sounding so fake? And everybody is having the exact same question because AI is programmed in a certain way that makes it easier for everybody. So it's this generalized way that the platform goes in and it speaks specifically in ways that makes you sound better, but there's patterns that have been coded in that make it specific for the platform. So you can go to ChatGPT, you can go to Claude, you can go to Gemini, you can go to Grok, all of the different AIs, and all of these companies that have created this AI technology, they're all vying for everybody's business. So it's this level of adding things, working things in. They keep adding more and more and more because they want your business. They want you to use their AI. And at the bottom line of everything, in order to make it sound like you have to spend time in that platform. So, all of the different trainings that I've been to, they've said, pick one platform. It's okay to maybe take some information that you learn in that platform and then take it over to another AI platform and just ask it some questions around it to get a second opinion. So I like to think of it this way. We're going to a doctor, and the doctor has diagnosed you with this and this and this. It takes the lab, your blood test, it takes your blood pressure, it listens to you. You get to see the doctor in person, and then he gives you this list of things that you might need. Well, maybe you don't like some of the answers that you're getting, or one of your friends tells you, oh, this one is here and they have the answer. Well, that's exactly what we are doing here with all of the different AIs. It's like we've gone to the doctor is giving us this diagnosis, and the doctor has now said, okay, this is what it is. Well, you might not like that answer, so you go get a second opinion. That's where I would say put all of your information into one platform. So, hey, Mara, welcome to our AI training today. Um, we are just talking about the different platforms in AI and the different questions that people are having. One of the main questions is, how can I make AI sound like me? And it's so important to spend time in your AI, just really picking up your phone, getting into that platform, whether you choose Claude, ChatGPT, whatever one you choose, then you just speak into it. There are some recording devices that you can buy that you hang around your neck, and it records your voice all day, and you're able to upload that into your AI. I haven't gone to that extent. I have friends that have done that and they say that it's amazing. But what I have done is I have taken my AI and just when I'm on a walk or when I'm just having some downtime, I'll turn it on and I start having these ideas. and you record into your AI. You can use your voice, or you just can put in typed messages too. But it's so important that your AI hears your voice. That is how it will start to act like you. And then, even then, it is programmed to act like you, but it's programmed, the coding in the back end of all AIs is to make things simpler, faster, and easier for you. So there is certain patterns that you can tell when you're reading something that is AI generated. And I know in the questions that we asked you, it talked about how can I make AI sound more like me? And that is the number one way. Spend time in the AI with your own voice, even if you're just rambling, like you've got all these ideas, all these things in your head, you've got concerns and worries and struggles and things you're excited about, and then this gets in the way and that gets in the way. You really talk exactly like that. I was at a very extensive training with Russell Brunson. I don't know if you know him, but I was at one of his workshops and they said, make sure you're speaking the way you speak. Don't try and make it sound fancy when you're talking to your AI. Don't try and type in things to make it sound so perfect and professional. I know one of you had said, I'm overthinking this. And that was the number one thing in our training that they said. Just talk like you talk. Don't try and put prompts in that sound like a professional prompt. You want to put the prompts in that are your voice. That's why it will start sounding like you more. So I know Mara, you had, if you want to open up your camera, that would be great. I know that you said that you had some questions about let's see, yours was AI prompts that we can use right now in your business and getting out of that overthinking and into action. Do you want to open up your microphone? And I'd be happy to go through some of the different steps that we could do with that.
I'm sorry, I can't right now because I'm putting my kids to bed.
Okay.
I can just listen,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
If it's okay to be here and just listen.
Yeah, that's great. And
I have two small kids, so
I
they
love
have to
hearing the
go.
children in the background. And I just give them a great big hug and a squeeze.
Thank you.
Yes, yes, I love that.
Okay.
Okay. And we'll be sure and I'll get you the recording. And also, if you want to, you can email us back some of your questions. I'm happy to answer your questions too. So,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank
hopefully this helps even just by knowing that you just speak into your AI. One question I do have for you, which AI do you prefer to use?
Is it question for me?
Yes.
Uh-huh. ChatGPT and
Okay.
Copilot.
And Copilot. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's good to know because then I can gear things around that for you.
I
Okay.
didn't try anything else.
That's
So
okay.
I'm
That's
pretty new in this stuff. So
okay. Okay. Yeah.
okay.
That's good to know. That's good to know. So ChatGPT is probably one of the easiest to use. And I've been using ChatGPT for over a year and a half. So it knows my voice um, so distinctly. Like I have been able to put some prompts in there. So here's some prompts that I would have you go through and put into your ChatGPT. And I always tell it to ask me at least 5 questions before it gives me an answer. And it sounds funny, but you have to put a prompt in there that says, do not lie to me. Do not make up any answers. I want it to be scientifically based answers and proven theories. So in my ChatGPT, that's exactly what I have done is I have put in the prompts, just those specific prompts that say, do not lie to me. Do not make up any answers. And then there's another thing in AI that wants to give you a controversial um, theory, or it's programmed in the background where it wants to give you a contrast. So if you'll notice, you can tell right away when somebody has written and just posted something directly from ChatGPT or any of the AIs, is it will go in there and it says, you don't need to do this, or you do not need this, or, and it goes through all the things that you don't want. And before it will give you the things that you do want. And to me, my brain, I don't want to know the things that it doesn't want. I want to know the things that I do want. Because then your mind and your brain will still become so creative that you'll be able to get your AI to work better for you if it knows the things that you do want. You don't want to focus on all of those things that you don't want. I hope that that's really clear. I have had to train it over and over and over again. I have put it, what you can say is, put this in your memory bank. Do not ever say the things that I don't want. Always focus on the things that I do want. So that's another prompt that you can put in there. And also, you have to remember you are the expert at what you're doing. And let me tell you just a little story around this to clarify. So, there is a 16-year-old kid right now that is really making it big on AI and through the teenagers, with the teenagers. So he started going to meetings with his mom and dad, and they would just put him in the back of the room of all these business meetings that they would go to. He is homeschooled, and they would just really take him to any of their business groups, any of the meetings or the entrepreneurial uh, workshops that they were at, and give him and his sister some toys, and they'd just be in the back of the room. And he was always exposed to that as he was growing up. So then they were in this one meeting, and he was about 11 years old or 12 years old. And I'll send the story to you if you want to read it, like, and get all the details. But he started listening, and then he would go into his Discord. And if you don't know what Discord is, it is an online platform where kids will play games with each other, or they've got some meetups, some rooms. It's been a place that kids have gathered for years and years. Even my son, who's now 27, he was in these Discord groups from the time he was like 16 or 17 years old. So it's a great platform that kids have used, and even some adults have been in there using it. But it's mostly teenagers that are in there. So he got in these groups, and then he started noticing kids his age were asking a lot the same questions. And the questions were exactly what we're asking as adults is, how do I create a business, or how do I create a place where I can go and ask questions and get my questions answered? So he just created this group that would ask questions to each other. And then as he listened to the questions that people were asking, he more and more people were coming in, and then he'd invite a guest speaker to come in and talk, and then more and more kids would come in. And then when his mom and dad would take him to these in-person business meetings, he would ask the event coordinator if he could create a room where the parents could bring their teenagers and they would sit at round tables and they would talk about what they're learning from their parents and how they could create it as teenagers. This kid then was told you should charge for people to come into these rooms and talk with you. And he had a real hard time with that. He's like, I've got all my friends in here. Like, I've created this massive movement of teenagers across the world, and they've never had to pay anything. And they said, no, just keep that group. But then if anybody from that group wants to move over into a paid group, then they can come over and be in a paid group. And so now all of these parents are writing checks for their teenagers to join his year-long mastermind, which it just was something that he was doing anyway. And they're paying $5,000 a year for their kids to come and be in this mastermind with these teenagers, and they're all creating businesses. So it is something as easy as that, but you have to be showing up consistently, asking people questions, asking them what's working, what's not working, how can we make this work better? And so in your AI can help you do this exactly what this 16-year-old kid did. So I took that email that I just got, I took that email with everything that he did, and I put it into my chat GPT, and I asked my chat GPT with the expert training that I have, with the knowledge that I have, with the programs that I've created, take this information from how this teenager created these groups and put it in. And I can give you my exact prompt, but it was take all of this and then ask me questions about how I could create this for my team. And then it printed out a whole list of the ways that I could do it, what platforms. I asked it what platforms I needed to go on. Here's the key. In order to get your ChatGPT to start sounding like you, it is taking these informations of these things that you're getting, emails, text messages, questions your kids have, questions your sister has, all of these different things, questions, especially your questions that are going through your mind. Put it in your AI, put it in your chat GPT. Then go in there and ask it to create a program around that. Ask it to code and make you an app. Ask it to all of these different things. You do have to get to the paid level to really get the extensive answers. But at first, if you don't want to do the paid version, fill it full of all of this information. And then when you get to the point that you really want it to build you these extra things, that's when you probably will have to start paying. I think it's like $20 a month or something like that. And then it will help you create that for yourself. And then there's another thing now ChatGPT does is it remembers your other conversations. It can go back in through your past conversations and take that information and use it for you, for yourself. Um, Always remember AI is not the expert, you are. And then instead of asking it, write me a post, here's what you're going to ask it. Ask me 5 questions that will help me tell a story about why I started my business. That's a huge difference in having your AI work for you and having it sound like you. And then here's a simple prompt that you can use immediately right now. Act like my business coach. Ask me questions one at a time until you fully understand my ideal client. Then help me create 3 authentic social media posts that sound exactly like me. Don't make them sound like AI. And then the reason that this works is because you've now gotten past what AI has been coded to do, and it will do what you ask it to do. That's why these prompts work. You put the prompts that are coming in your mind. And they say women are the number one at getting AI to really sound like them because our brains work differently and we've got so many different ideas that we're working through at the exact same time that to when it comes to asking questions, we are really, really good at asking these questions. Okay. Then there's a confidence exercise that we can do that will ask you questions and it will give your AI a chance to get to know you just a little bit deeper. So here's one question. What do people thank you for most often? So you can even put that in your ChatGPT. If you've been talking to it enough, it will tell you. It will make up an answer for you also. It will lie to you. But if you take even the stuff that it's making up, and if it sounds even just a little bit like you, then take it what it says and then put it in back into your chat GPT and say, no, it isn't like that, but it is like this. So maybe it says in there, people often thank me for how much hope I give them or how much the business laws and techniques that I give them, how it's really changed their thinking. And so then I go back in and I copy that answer and I paste it back in there and I say, no, really, people will call me and thank me for giving them this thought or this business law that sent them into the next conversation with more confidence and hope because they understood better. So I add to whatever it is ChatGPT or my AI has told me, and then I add my real answer. So here's the thing that people are not taking enough time to do is, yeah, AI sounds really great what it's giving you. It's like, wow, that really does sound pretty cool. But then take that answer and put it in your own words, like type it in with your own words added. Changing even 30% of what AI gives you will make it sound more like you. Even if you have that complete answer, here's another tip for you. When you are listening to what AI has told you, it will give you short sentences. So it will give you really short sentences with a period, another short sentence with a period, another short few words with a period. You can always tell that that's AI. If you have anything that has a dash in it, that's always AI. So take out the dashes, take out the short sentences, like copy that little short sentence that it gives you, copy, paste it down in the chat again, and say, turn this into complete sentences. Make AI work for you. Then another thing is When you ask, what do people thank you for most often? This answer, when you get it really clear, and it sounds like you, ask AI to show you how to turn that into marketing. So that's a prompt that you're going to take after you get what it is that people thank you for and you get it really clear. The next step is ask AI to show you how to turn that into marketing. So, part of the part of the struggle that we get now is we've got all these answers in there, right? We've got all of these things because AI has plenty of information to give you, and then we get overwhelmed. So, um, if you want to start building some prompts on your own, tell AI, say, I'm overthinking this. I just want simple prompts. I want it to sound really authentic, and I want you to build me prompts that I can ask you that will give me answers that will be more authentic to me. And then ask it to ask you questions. So before it gives me an answer, I have told it, always ask me a question to verify that you're hearing what I say. So, an example of that is when I'm having a real life conversation, even with my children, my husband, some of my coworkers, I will say to them, tell me what you just heard me say and repeat it back to me. That is a great AI prompt. Because then you're having a real conversation with your AI. Some people have even named their AIs so that they're having a conversation with Joe or with Clara or, whatever you call your AI, they'll give it a name. So then you actually are having a conversation with that person as you're typing in prompts or as you're holding your phone, saying into your phone and talking live so that it hears your voice. The whole time you're doing that, AI's learning and it's learning quicker and faster. Every week it gets faster and better. So as you keep doing this and you show up, even daily, you can say, give me a routine to help me get my kids to sleep faster, or that I can make my evening routine better so that I can save time and I can have quality time with my kids and with my husband, but that I can save and have some quality time for myself. I put a prompt in my ChatGPT, and it sends me a daily, almost a task list, but I told him I didn't want it to be a task list because I don't want to have to check off a task list and then feel like I've failed. So I had ChatGPT send me an email daily that says suggestions of how to start my day. And I told it to tell me how I would feel if I did these things. So I get this almost little spa kind of experience in the morning because it knows I want to exercise, I want to drink water, I want to get my nutrition in early in the day, I want to stay hydrated, I want my brain to be thinking clearly as to the tasks that I want to accomplish. And so it sends me this little email, which truly, some days I open the email, but some days I don't have to now because I know the prompts that it's going to give me. And then I always have a quote that is something that I'm working on like that week or that month. So it gives me an affirmation to start out with, a prayer. I have it do a prayer, a scripture. Those of you that know me know that I really like to include God in my day. So when I do that, it it sets me up for success already in my day. So I already have a win. I'm already celebrating. Now, Diana, I know that she is not here today, but one of her questions was, if people really understood how I help them, What would they say after I get finished working with them? And so what you can do is ask that question into your AI. If people understood exactly how you help them, what would they say after they were finished working with you? And then tell AI, show me how to turn that answer into a LinkedIn post, an Instagram post, or a short video script. Now you'll be able to see AI working with your business. And technology is changing so quickly and so fast. I want you to know that really only about 10% of the population are even using this. So don't think what you're doing has already been done. I really want you to feel that deep inside your heart, that you're not behind. When I went to this training, they said right there, they gave the statistics and said most people are just using it like Google, like they're just talking into their phone and saying, what's the best restaurant near me? How do I do this? They're not using it to the extent that we've talked about today. They don't even know what coding an app would be, or to be able to help somebody get over overwhelm, and to be able to do prompts for their business. Most people don't even know. They're just asking it, hey, make me an Instagram prompt, and then they're posting that. Well, nobody's really clicking on those. What they are clicking on is when you show up really authentically. And I know how hard it is to put that camera in front of your face and you see your eyes. You can do it in your car, you can do it, in your house, you can do it out walking on the street when you're pushing the stroller with the kids, and be really authentic in what you're talking about, in what's showing up for you in your day. You know that there's moms that are just posting their daily routine, and it is helping other moms because they see they're not alone. So any of these things that you think, oh, nobody would want to hear that, nobody will even click on that. Well, here's the thing. If you have even 20 people that watch your video, think about 20 people in a hotel room, sitting in a ballroom, being able to be trained by you. That's so powerful when you start thinking about that. And a lot of times we get hundreds of views on a video that we have posted, or we get, 7 to 10 little likes or hearts. Depending where you are in your business and what's happening, people are watching, they care. And you don't have to worry about the algorithm and about going viral. I just really want to dispel that myth right now. Virality is not it, because most of those people are just watching and scrolling, but you're not getting business from that. What you're building when you get 20 people that show up and watch your video, or 30 people that show up and watch your video, you're getting real people that want to hear what you have to say. So let me end with this. AI is helping us really get our message out. And it is authentically you when you're typing it in, putting it in AI, and it's producing who you are and what you are wanting to say and the business you're wanting to create. And what we're creating, we're selling hope. We're selling hope in the world to people just like you and just like me. That's what we're doing. So all of the women that have come through my training and through my teachings, the one thing I tell them is, if you even touch one person today, what a difference will it make in that one person's life? So anything positive that you're putting out there, any encouragement that you're putting out there, any words of advice, any suggestions that you're giving, somebody is hearing it. And then that somebody will stop and listen even the next time you do it. Did you know that we have to show up at least 17 times in somebody's scroll or in their feed? So don't stop posting. Don't stop showing up because it takes them at least that many times before they really hear you in their mind, before they really start saying, I want what she has. So that's what I'd like to end with today is keep showing up. Keep showing up for you. Keep showing up for the legacy that you're leaving. Keep showing up because the more good that we put out there in the world, the more difference that we're making. Even if it's with one person or five people or 20,000 people, we're showing up for this one person that it really matters. We're showing up for ourselves and we're showing up for our kids. We're showing up for our family. We're showing up for our community. And the minute we start making that connection, you show up authentically because you just show up and there's no mistakes that you can make. There's blunders and you might be live doing something. You show up so authentically. I was on a live call the other day and it was like chaos. Chaos happened all around me. And I just started laughing because I thought, you know what? We all have this that happens and we just get to keep showing up. So don't try and make it perfect. People are not showing up to AI perfect. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. And if you have any questions, make sure that you email us your questions and we'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks, Mara. Thanks, Maria. And those of you that are listening to the recording, make sure that you leave a comment and ask us the questions that you've got. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Mara. Say goodnight to those kids.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you. Have a nice day.
Bye, Maria.
Bye bye. Bye bye.